Okay, picture this. Imagine two massive parallel rivers of human history. One, it flows from Adam, and it's kind of shadowed, murky, It's burdened, operating on this deeply corrupted code. But then there's this other stream. It flows from Noah. It's bursting into the light, running on a completely restored, clean system. Today, we are going deep into the Kabbalistic code to really get what this monumental shift was all about.
So what really separates these two versions of humanity? Well, the core idea we're digging into today, and this comes straight from the Zohar, is that this transition from being the children of Adam to the generations of Noah, this wasn't just about one family surviving a big flood. No way. It was a fundamental reboot of the entire cosmic operating system, a change in the very architecture of reality itself.
And to really wrap our heads around this, we're going to go on a little journey. First, we'll decode the two names that define these two very different humanities. Then, we'll have to diagnose the catastrophic failure in the Adamic system. After that, we'll see the flood for what it really was, a dramatic cosmic solution, and analyze the brand new Noah protocol that got installed. And then finally, we'll bring it all home to see what this all means for us, right now, running on this new system today.
Okay, let's dive right in. You have to understand that in Kabbalah, names are never just labels. They're more like technical specifications. They literally describe the functional state of a system. And the Zohar kicks this all off by making a crucial distinction between two titles for humanity. And believe me, that distinction changes everything.
So on one side of the coin, you've got B'nai Ha'adam, literally the children of Adam. Now, this isn't just a name. It's a technical term for humanity after the sin. It describes a state of being that's all about fragmentation, disconnection, and this really harsh energy of strict judgment. The mystics have a name for it, din. It's like a system of pure, unbuffered cause and effect. But then you have Toldot Noach, the generations of Noah. And again, this is way more than just a family tree. It points to a totally new kind of lineage, a humanity that's been rerouted in a covenant, in stability, and in this beautiful flow of loving kindness or chesed. We're talking about a system that's suddenly infused with grace.
So what exactly was the problem? To really get the fix, we first have to diagnose what broke. And the sin of the tree of knowledge, well, it wasn't just some simple mistake. If you look at it from a Kabbalistic engineering perspective, it was nothing short of a catastrophic system failure right at the root level. The sources point to two main technical failures in this Adamic system. You could think of it like a 1-2 punch that just completely knocked reality off its axis. First, there was a severing, a fundamental disconnection. And that was immediately followed by a shattering, which was this kind of desperate emergency protocol that had massive, massive consequences.
All right, let's get into the mechanics here. In Kabbalah, reality is built on 10 divine attributes or energy channels, right? The Sephiroid. Before the sin, this energy just flowed perfectly. But this first corruption, the severing, it broke the pipeline. You see, the Sephira of Yesod, which means foundation, was the perfect conduit flowing into Malkuts, our physical reality. The sin twisted the human vessel, and by extension the whole world, into a state of pure self-reception. Basically a black hole of I want, I want, I want. And this created a fundamental incompatibility with the infinite light, which is all about pure giving. The flow just couldn't happen. The pipeline was severed.
So, with the main power line cut, the whole system was about to crash. Total system failure. So a desperate fail-safe kicks in, the shattering. A portion of the system's core energy, described as 288 holy sparks, literally fell. They cascaded down into the lower realms, into what's called the realm of the klipot, or husks. This was sort of like the universe grabbing its remaining life support batteries and packing them into insulated containers, just to keep the broken world from completely imploding. It preserved them for a future time when they could finally be rescued and put back where they belong.
Now, this idea of klipot is so interesting. You might think they're just evil, but the word literally means husks or shells, like the peel on a piece of fruit. So their function is actually a paradox. On the one hand, yeah, they are realms of concealment, of spiritual darkness. But on the other hand, they also serve to protect and preserve those holy sparks of light that have fallen inside them. They're both the prison and the protective casing for all this quarantined divine energy.
To bring this into our world for a second, the Adamic system basically became a legacy operating system, like Windows 95, infected with a rootkit virus. The corruption wasn't just in some app, it was in the kernel, the absolute core of the system.
Every single process, every output was now buggy, unstable, and totally disconnected from its source code, all while running on this fragmented and quarantined power supply.
So that brings us to the turning point. How do you fix a system that's so fundamentally broken? Well, you can't. Patches and updates? They're not going to cut it. A full system wipe was the only option left, and that was the Great Flood.
And this right here is such a key shift in how to think about this story. The flood wasn't some act of arbitrary anger. It was a cosmic decontamination process. The Zohar talks about something called the Zuhama, this spiritual filth, this venom that was injected into the world by the primordial serpent. The waters of the flood, they were a necessary and, yeah, painful utility. They were designed to cleanse the entire system of this deep-seated corruption.
So the crucial point here is that this was the ultimate hard reboot. I mean, this was the cosmic equivalent of pulling up the command prompt and typing Format C and hitting Enter. It completely wiped the corrupted hard drive of reality, clearing out all the bad sectors in the spiritual malware. It was all about preparing the world for a totally clean installation of a brand new operating system.
So after the wipe, a new system had to be installed, right? And this was never just about saving one man and his family. It was about establishing a new archetypal root for all of future humanity. And this is what we're calling the Noah Protocol. You know, Noah gets this very specific title, Tzaddik Yesod Olam, which means the righteous one is the foundation of the world. This isn't just a nice compliment. It is literally his job description. He, in his very essence, embodies the repaired Sephira of Yesod. He personally becomes the new, stable, righteous conduit that reestablishes that critical connection between the upper worlds and our physical reality, Malkut. And this table just lays it all out so clearly. Let's look at the Adamic system first, that top row. You see how the foundation, Yesod, is listed as damaged or disconnected. Well, that breakage directly leads to a fragmented and unstable manifestation in our physical world, which is Malkut. And the result? A totally broken flow state, dominated by that harsh energy of judgment, or din. But now, look at the Noahic system on the bottom. The foundation, Yesod, is now restored, thanks to Noah the Tzaddik. And what happens? It allows for a settled, structured world, a Malkut, that can actually receive the flow. The system is now restored and flowing with loving kindness, with chesed. What a difference, right? So, let's go back to our analogy. If Adam's world was that corrupted legacy OS, then Noah's world is the brand new clean install. The system architecture is finally restored. And that covenant of the rainbow? You can think of that as the new end-user license agreement. It's the set of rules and promises that governs this new, stable, and predictable version of reality. Okay, so this is a really fascinating cosmic story, but what does all this ancient system architecture mean for you and me, right here, right now? We are the users. We're living in the world that runs on this Noah protocol. So what is our role in all of this? Well, let's look at it through two different lenses. First, for the gamer mindset. Think of the pre-flood world as like a beta version of a video game that just got hopelessly bugged and glitchy. The flood was a total server wipe and a relaunch as World 2.0. And our quest in this new version of the game is to go out into the world and find those 288 fallen sparks. Think of them like hidden power-ups or secret quest items, and elevate them, collecting them from the clipots to help fully repair the world.
And then there's the second lens, the one for the engineer mindset. From this angle, we're not just playing a game, we are actively working with a revised blueprint for consciousness itself. The system has been reset, it's been stabilized, but it's not yet optimized. Our purpose is what's called tikkun, rectification or repair. We continue the system-wide optimization project by refining our own actions, our own thoughts, our own consciousness, and by doing that, we elevate the sparks that are embedded within the material world all around us.
And that, right there, brings us to the ultimate point of this whole explainer. The system reboot wasn't the end of the story. Not at all. It was the beginning of our story. The great work of cosmic repair, Tikkun Olam, is now officially in our hands. The system is stable now, but those sparks are still out there, just waiting. They're hidden in our food, in our work, in our relationships. I mean, in every single corner of the material world. So the final question isn't a cosmic one. It's a deeply personal one. What are the fallen sparks, the hidden holiness, the unrealized potential, the moments of connection just waiting to be made that you are meant to elevate and redeem in your own life today?
Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.